Hello, welcome back to Warley Club. Paul, we're back after how long?
Yeah, after 6 months we're now back in action. The COVID crisis, of course, the pandemic created quite an issue for us. Like everywhere else, we had to close the club rooms. But after considerable thought and changes in government guidance, we've been able to reopen the club rooms on a limited basis, but it does enable members to come and get on with some work with some of the layouts.
Shall we go inside and have a look around? What
yeah, you'll see the door is open, the shutter's up, the club room is open, but we have to put our masks on before we go into the club room.
Okay.
Let's go in.
So we're inside the club room now, Paul. So talk about all the changes we've made to make it safe.
Yeah, thanks Andy. Well, the first obvious change is that we're all having to wear masks when we come in the club room. As every other public place, we expect all members who come in to wear the masks. And you'll see behind me here, to remind members of their requirements to use a hand sanitizer, of which there are several around the club, to wash their hands regularly and to keep the 2 metre distance. That's fundamental to letting members back into the club room. Now, going beyond that, every member has to book in for a session in the club room, and we've limited the number of persons, person being either an individual member or a member's household, because we do have some members that are husband and wife, father and son, etc. We've restricted our members to 2 persons per layout, per session. So this is a way of preventing, say, our engage group, of which are quite a large number, all descending at the same time onto a relatively small space in the club room. This wouldn't comply with the regulations, so to overcome that, we've introduced this 2 persons per layout concept. At the moment it seems to be working well. So members book a slot through me as a chairman, as booking clerk, so if any misdemeanours occur, I can deal with them. Members have to book into, when they come in, they confirm that they are free of any symptoms of the virus, they sign their name, the time they come in and the time they leave. Our sessions are for 3 hours, 9 till 12, 12 till 3, 3 till 6 and 6 till 9. Although there can be a little bit of overlap obviously. But each of those sessions requires a clean of the club room with antiseptic wipes, etc., of all the touching surfaces, so that we can ensure that every 3 hours the club room has been made safer. We have social distancing of 2 metres for everybody who's in. You probably can't see it on this video, but the floors are all marked throughout the club room with 2 metre distancing, and that's why Andrew's standing over there and I'm standing over here. So that seems to be working quite well. We get up to about 8 or 9 members at any one point in time, and as long as they're in different parts of the club room working on the projects, that's working okay. So that's the basis of how it works, Andy.
So let's go forward and have a look around the club room and see.
Yeah, why not?
What we've done in the club.
Oh, I would just mention that we do have hand sanitizer, of course, as you come into the facility, into the club room, and there are masks. We expect members to bring their own masks most of the time, but if they forget them, or if we have a visitor, I don't think we've had many of those since we reopened after lockdown, they'd be expected to wear a mask as well. So there's no excuse for not wearing a mask inside the club room facility. Okay, Andy, let's have a wander in.
So we've got a one-way system in place, Paul.
Yeah.
Shall we talk about that?
Yeah. We're very fortunate at Warley in that we've got quite a large facility, as many of you probably know because you'll have visited us on our open days. So we've been able to put in place a system that enables members to be socially distanced relatively easily. So I mentioned earlier the markings on the floor and the reminders on the floor of the need to keep social distance. We have signage around the club room, wear a face mask, 2 metre social distancing, and a one-way system. And the one-way system effectively goes down this main central aisle towards the back door, then peels either one way or the other to go back round to the front. We keep the emergency exit open and the front door open as long as there's no security risk, so that we've got a through flow of air to keep the air moving around the premises. And we also have some fans at the back. They were put in for a different purpose, but they have the advantage also of keeping the air moving throughout the club room throughout the time people are in. Now what's going to happen when we get to the late autumn and the winter, We don't know yet, but we'll wait and see.
And the other thing we've done is we've closed the kitchen area temporarily as well.
Yeah,
so
we've closed the kitchen area, we've taken the lids off the dustbins so that there's minimum amount of cross-contamination through contact of these facilities. We've tried to do our best, as you know, Andy, to make it as safe as possible for our members to be in the club room.
And again, because of the age group and the categories of members, we've got to protect them and look after them. And
that's right.
And protect any visitors that want to come to the club room as well.
That's right, Andy. Absolutely right. Yeah. Okay, we've moved up to the club library now. Those who know anything about the library arrangements, any library arrangements, will know one of the big issues here is cross-contamination through the use of books. And the Libraries Association, I can't remember their formal name, but the association has recommended that any book should be left for 72 hours once somebody has touched it. So this obviously gave Warley Club something of an issue in terms of getting members access to the club library. I have with me Paul Robinson, one of our librarians. He'll explain how we've managed to have a facility where members can still borrow books for their research, etc., during the COVID pandemic crisis. Paul, how's it work?
Well, how's it work? Welcome everybody to our Warley Club Library. As you can see, we've got some boxes on the table, really top-end tech, and they're labelled for the different days. So when a book comes back, say it comes back on a Tuesday, goes in this box, and that's where it stays for the 72 hours, quarantined, just like people to get quarantined, before it gets put back on the shelf. So we've got all the boxes there for the books to go into. Now you want to know really how you can get hold of the books and how you can bring them back. Well, that's quite easy really. The books themselves, you can go on the club site and type in a mail requesting the Warley Library what you require. Leave your contact details on there, and the librarians will endeavour to get back to you to say yes, we've got that book, or no, we haven't, could we give you a substitute? And then we can either leave it outside, which we will put in a bag addressed to you, and it will be there for you to pick up. Or alternatively, if you want to post them at your expense, that can be posted to you. Now obviously that costs money, so if you want to come down just to collect the books, that would be the cheaper option. But obviously it's all to do with communication. You have to tell us what you want, and we tell you what we can do for you. We're here to help. And through this difficult situation, the books are here, the DVDs are here, and we'll do our very best to look after you.
Thanks, Paul. So the good news is members are able to borrow the books from the library and do their research for their projects. Thank you, Paul. That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Okay,
Paul.
So we had the AGM on Wednesday evening. First one as chairman.
First one as chairman. It wasn't quite as anticipated given the current restrictions. We've had to make some changes to the way we do the AGM. Fortunately, our constitution, which is one that derives from the Charity Commission, as we're a registered charity, allows us to have postal voting. There are quite specific provisions, but we have had a postal vote to determine the outcome of various elections and motions at this year's AGM. This has allowed us to restrict the number of actual voting members in the club room to the minimum needed to ensure we've got a physical quorum at the club, and that just complies with the numbers we're looking at to be the maximum in the club room, so that's been quite helpful. To enable members to feel part of the AGM, we've used Zoom, that well-known software that everybody seems to use these days for all sorts of things, so members could observe the AGM using Zoom as it proceeded. And I think it worked reasonably well, but I hope come next year we'll be back to a more normal type event, normal type annual general meeting with 50 plus members in the club room being able to ask questions and do things that you do in a democratic organisation. So a success, I think.
I think so. We covered what we needed to cover, and it was and the members got to view and see what was going on.
Exactly.
What's been said.
Yeah. That's right.
So
absolutely.
That's brilliant, Paul. So thanks very much.
Consequences for Warley Club of the COVID pandemic is that we've had to postpone for 12 months our annual exhibition at the NEC. So we thought to ourselves, what could we do to celebrate our usual weekend? Members are expecting to be doing something that weekend, and we came to the idea of a Warley MRC open Virtual Event. I think it's called the Warley MRC Virtual Event, actually, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah.
This will feature the club and also its exhibition activities, and it should be really interesting. Andy is one of the lead organisers of that event, together with Nigel Smith, who's our exhibition manager, and they will talk about the open event in a moment or two.
That's great. Well, thank you, Paul, for showing us around the club and giving the viewers an insight in what we're doing and the safety of the club. As you can see, we are doing our best to keep everyone as safe as possible, and we are welcoming members back. Obviously, you've got to watch what government guidelines are saying and move forward.
Yeah, and there may be a change coming up there. We don't know yet, but yeah, could be. Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you, Paul. And
pleasure.
We'll bring Nigel in and have a chat with Nigel.
And we hope we can see some of you at our open days next year, not February, but hopefully by July the 4th.
So
the club room will be open and we can enjoy each other's company.
I think as people are aware, we've postponed the 2020 exhibition. So what we've done is all of the layouts that were invited for 2020, we've carried those over until 2021. So basically we've still got the 90 layouts booked. They will be the layouts that were due to attend at the 2020 show, but they'll be now appearing in 2021. Bit of a logistical nightmare, because what we've got to do now is to move all of the ones that were booked for 2021 into 2022. But Roger and myself are working through those at the moment, and hopefully 2021 should be a good show, so long as we can actually run it. And 2022 should also, it's certainly got a good variety of layouts, got lots to see. Let's just hope that we can actually go ahead with them.
Absolutely. And I suppose we've got an extra year now to sort of prepare for the 21 show. It gives a bit more time to think about the layouts and who's involved. And
absolutely. I mean, at the moment we are still waiting for the guidance from the Association of Events Venues, and the also guidance from the Association of Events Organisers. Hopefully we will get the guidance through fairly soon, and then we can actually start to put some detailed planning in place going forward onto the 2021 and 2022 shows.
So I'm also talking to NEC and getting advice from them as well.
Oh, absolutely. But NEC are exactly the same as us. They're waiting for the guidance from the same overarching organisations. As you say, we work closely with the NEC, so hopefully we'll be able to iron out any issues before we actually get round to the events. Well, we'll have to iron out any issues prior to those. As I say, at the moment we can't really comment on what the show will look like, other than the fact we've booked there's about 90 layouts. I can't tell you how the event will actually run at this stage, because we just don't have the information.
That's it. It's just a case of work on it. And
absolutely, as soon as we know something, we'll let people know.
That's brilliant, Nigel. Shall we have a chat about what we're doing this year instead?
That would be a good idea. Andy, I mean, you've been doing an awful lot of the work towards this. It's probably better if I put the ball back into your court, and you give a little bit of an update on what you've been doing. I know you've been talking to a lot of the sponsors. Would you like to give a little bit of information about those?
Yeah, the sponsors, we've got full support from the sponsors. Everyone's on board, really are behind the event. We've got Hornby doing a 100th anniversary video, which is going to kick-start the show. Talking about their 100th year. I think they're going to talk about some of the products they launched for this year, the centenary. It really is going to be a celebration of 100 years of Hornby. And we've got Simon and Montana going to do a video for that. We've got a Harry Potter competition we're going to run. We've got family fun projects we're going to run, which is they've relaunched for this year, Mark II. So we're going to let the junior section, hopefully, COVID permitting, let them loose on a family fun project, so that should be interesting to see.
That'll be very interesting to see what they come up with.
Especially live, so you know, a bit of a great model RA challenge in Warley Club with the juniors, you know, taking centre stage and really building hopefully a layout from the bare boards.
Andy, so what is the actual purpose of the event, this virtual event?
It really is for me to highlight the whole of the club and the club's activities and what we do and on a daily basis, but also hopefully give an insight into the club as an exhibition as well. So it gives an insight, you know, get to know the members and what we do.
Absolutely. So it's not a replacement for the 2021
Not at
show.
all.
It's something to run alongside where we would have had the event, and really to promote the club and to show people exactly what Warley Model Railway Club is all about.
So we're not just an exhibition, we are a club, and hopefully it'll give people insight into club life as well, so maybe attract people to join their local club as well. And so, you know, you can join Warley as an associate member and be part of the team and get involved that way, but it's also nice, you know, to see what clubs do and get involved.
So we have the main sponsors involved. We have a number of traders I know who are being involved as well. What about the layouts? How are you going to approach the layouts?
Well, the plan is we're going to have a number of videos. I think it's going to work on scales, so we're going to have a video all about the club's N-gauge scale layouts. We'll do something with the club's 00 layouts, something with the club's O-gauge. We're going to do something with 82G, I think. We've got some sort of 82G for the decade, so we're going to have from steam right through to modern diesel.
I hope we can borrow some of your modern diesels.
We're going to borrow my modern diesel, so it's going to be... I don't quite know how we're going to fit in the fuel points and the fuel tanks.
Oh, don't worry about that, because we have a fueling depot on the layout here specifically for diesels, just here. And I have the oil tanks to provide the oil supply.
The water tank?
No, behind the water tank.
But yeah, it should be interesting. It's something a bit different again, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Showing the layout in a different angle, and again it hopefully will bring the layout to a different interest group other than just the steam and Southern, Great Western and that you normally see on the layout.
And so moving forward towards the show for 2021, we're doing something as well for that, aren't we? What we've done is formed a collage of information about the layouts and the demonstrators and things who are appearing in 2021, so that you'll get information and it'll show you something and what you can look forward to for next year.
Absolutely, that should be an interesting video to see and hopefully give you an insight of what to expect.
That's right, and we've also asked a few of our fellow clubs to put a little bit of information forward as well.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll find a bit more about what they're doing in these very uncertain times.
Absolutely, and obviously we've got the railway modeller competition that we've got organised, so that's going to be a kids competition. The idea is to produce a photographic plank, under 11s, 11 to 18 year olds, produce a photographic plank, any scale you want, take a photograph, send it in to the Warley email address that's on the paperwork. Well, everything you need to know about the competition is in this month's Railway Modeller that was released, I think it was Thursday this week. Mm-hmm. So if you've not got the Railway Modeller, go and get it, have a look at the competition, especially the kids. We want the kids to enter, and let's see if we've got budding modellers in the future. And the competition is being judged by Steve Flint and Kathy Millis from the Great Model Railway Challenge.
Brilliant.
So that should be a really good competition, and we're going to give the lucky winners a family ticket to the show. So you better come in and see the 2021 show, COVID permitting. So we look, hopefully come make yourself known if you have won the competition. We'd like to meet you, and
excellent.
And we've got PK opposite prizes as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a really good event. And things are changing all the time. As things progress, we'll do regular updates and let you know.
Excellent.
So I'm looking forward to it, Nigel.
Good stuff. Well, thanks, Andy.
That's great. Well, hopefully see you again in a month, 6 weeks' time. We'll do another update of what's going on.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers.